Good morning. Welcome to another We Wonder. Today, again, my name is Chris Pfluger. I'm the Chief Development Officer here at We Insure. And as we do on a weekly basis, we have different topics. We like to talk to different folks about different things. And today we are talking about a journey to ownership. And what a journey it is, actually. It's not as simple as most of the cases where people discover how fantastic We Insure is and then make a decision to come over. We had someone make a decision to come over in several different ways. And so today we're joined by several folks, but we're going to start by welcoming Ashley Guzman. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great, Chris.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit with you about your journey to ownership, and then we'll introduce a couple of partners as well as we go along here. But let's start with you. So your journey, if I've got this correct, is you started off as a producer at Allstate, and you were doing quite well, and you kind of honed your craft. And then you became a producer with We Insure in an office. Then you moved to become at headquarters. You joined and you got a peek behind the curtain. You got an expertise about, what's everything going on back there, and became, an agency development consultant. So you worked with a whole bunch of offices. So you really got to see how it works. And then finally you got a call and you became an owner.
Yep.
Is that correct? All right. So what was the experience like, early on in your career when you were with, an Allstate brand, something that was like a captive, we call it. What was your experience like?
Absolutely. So entering into the captive world, it was really all that I knew. I knew I liked to help people at Allstate. They really did teach me how to be a trusted advisor. So I'm huge on education, but I found myself having to say no a lot, like many other, people have seen. So really, you represent one company, one carrier. That's your only option. So if there's a rate increase, your only option to do is to cut coverages. And I absolutely hated doing that.
Well, I perfectly understand. Then you became a producer at We, and you discovered, obviously, we have quite a few carriers. It was a little different, I'd imagine, going through, looking through different raters and finding out, actually being able to help people with every different product out there. So tell me a little bit about that transition. Was it difficult? Was it easy?
It was honestly easy because I found that there was a market for everything. I realized that I could find people the absolute best price while not compromising coverage. I also was never exposed to the raters that We introduced me to. So it was a super easy transition, and I've been able to write so much more business and help so many more people that way.
Great. And then you decided, to work for, I'm sure you got a call from our founder and our CEO, Phil Vasali, and you decided, okay, I'm going to work for headquarters and work with a bunch of other offices and kind of, get to see how it works. You got to see offices all over the state of Florida because we weren't national at that point. And so how was that? What was that experience like? Did you learn a lot of things at that, talking to folks?
Absolutely. It was incredible. I got to see so many different offices. There's no one size fit all. So everybody's situations were unique. That's what I love about We. You don't have to come in and have 10 producers. You can be successful being one person. So I got to visit a lot of offices, and even just those one-man shows. It's not just really a one-man show. They have a whole team behind them. We have a service team, a sales team, an accounting team, processing team. We have all these teams, and there really is such a promise of We standing behind you. So I absolutely loved it.
Well, it must be real because you decided after that you were going to leave us. And I can tell you, personally, I know we were all very disappointed that you left the headquarters staff because you were one of our best employees out there in the field, meeting with folks and helping grow offices. But we're always very thrilled when someone decides, hey, we like it enough that we want to become an owner. So tell us a little bit about that story, and then we're going to introduce a couple of other folks to this particular call. They are partners. So tell me about how that transpired.
Absolutely. So I knew that I wanted to stay in insurance as a career, and I think the natural progression and goal should be ownership. It just happened a little sooner than I thought it would. I got a call from people who were looking to partner, and it was just kind of a great opportunity. I didn't know if it was the right time, but I knew that We was absolutely the best fit, and I knew we would be able to do it, and we did it. And I'm so glad that we did. I wouldn't have it any other way. So here we are.
Perfect. Well, then I think it's the appropriate time at this point to go ahead and introduce two of your partners. I'm going to add them to the stream here so we can meet them. Let me take this piece off. So we've got Mark Soravilla and Peter Rivera with us. And you gentlemen, welcome you this morning to We Wonder. You gentlemen are coming from different locations. Again, with COVID, we always work at different locations. I know Ashley was actually working out of the office, and you guys are working at different offices. But as we go through, let's introduce your story as well. So you own multiple RE/MAX offices. You own real estate offices. And you came to the conclusion before talking to Ashley that you wanted to have insurance in an office. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we rented our insurance relationship for a while, and then when the opportunity came to change that, we started exploring. So Mark and I started looking around, and we weren't really sure. We're coming from real estate, so we don't really know very much about the insurance world at all, other than from the real estate perspective. So when we started looking around, we looked at other franchises, other systems. We started talking to other people. We were very, very impressed with Ashley. And when we started digging into WeInsure, and I'll let Mark talk a little bit about this, dive into that. There's things about WeInsure that was very attractive to a RE/MAX owner, being that we already own offices and we already have, 5 day jobs already. There were some, and then plus I will say this about the WeInsure, the amount of carriers that WeInsure is perfect for our needs as a real estate office. You need to be diversified and be able to handle a lot of different situations, which we thought was going to be the case and is the case. We're seeing that it's been a great addition. So I'll let Mark do a little talking as well, because that's a pretty big question.
Yeah. Well, as Peter indicated, it's a natural progression when you have a real estate firm to have partnerships or vendors and ancillary businesses that complement that industry. So having someone that's readily available to answer insurance questions is a great assistance to the agents as well as their customers. And so we wanted to bring in an insurance company that we felt we could be confident in the product that they offered. We also wanted something that our agents would benefit from, as well as the customers. And so as we looked around, WeInsure was a perfect fit, and Ashley already had a reputation. She was already working with a lot of the agents in our office. She clearly knew the industry and the business, and she had a lot of what I think an agent wants to see, and also what customers want to see, as far as being very quick to respond. And so the partnership there made a lot of sense. And I think as far as WeInsure goes, if you're looking at it, if you have a relationship or industry like ours or business like ours, the plug and play format is really what we want. And Ashley, I'm sure will agree, we don't want to be worrying about a lot of the back office stuff. We want to be able to, we're sales, as brokers, we're selling to our agents are selling to customers, and that's the business we're comfortable with. It's been a big learning curve, better understanding the difference between insurance than maybe how agents are involved with maybe a lender or a title company. So we're still kind of working through all that, but we're very excited about all the opportunity that's in front of us by having that opportunity to get in front of buyers, really, primarily people that are going to be getting insurance on a new home, and that will hopefully continue for many years. So that's kind of why we were brought in that direction. I don't know if that answers your question at all. I kind of forgot what it was, but
yeah, that's exactly what folks are looking to hear. And I can tell you just from my own experience, obviously I knew you gentlemen before coming, to WeInsure. I did the same due diligence in finding the right solution, within insurance. And I think you said it best, Peter. People, it's a transition because you understand insurance at a high level, right? You understand that you need it. Everybody needs it. You understand that it's, we need it for a home, we need it for auto, we need it for boats, and the office and strip centers and those type of things. But do you really understand it? And I've had a lot of experiences myself, and Ashley and I've talked about this numerous times, where someone will come and give you a quote, and you're like, okay, I guess that's what it is. And not knowing that behind the scenes, that person only had one or two choices. So that's really what it is for them. But really, that's not the whole world of insurance. And that's not the options. It might not be the best option for me. It's the best option available at that time. So, I know that with WeInsure, we have so many different options out there that actually is helpful for your clients, for agents, and, creates that one-stop shop effect within an office. But my question, I guess, back to you gentlemen, and either one of you can answer this, is is that you have other services in your office? I assume you have like mortgage or something else available to your agents as well. And so it may not have been the top thing on your list, but it was something I thought was interesting that you had started thinking about it prior to meeting Ashley, or at least having conversations with Ashley, and you did that due diligence. Right now, has it been something you use within your office? Have you promoted it to the agents? Are they taking to it and saying, wow, this is a great alternative? I'm glad it's here.
I don't know. I'm out for that partially. That's part of the learning curve. Being a real estate broker, you have, obviously you have impact with your agents. You have those relationships. You always want to have them buy into any services you're providing or any partnerships that you create, because you want them to feel in many ways it's their decision. You want them to be advocates for it. And so coming from our previous experience of dealing with agents, and also having experience with lenders and title companies, it took us a while. And Ashley's really kind of brought it more to the forefront for us to better understand how it works with agent relationship with insurance agents versus agent relationships with lenders. And so we've really been working on that integration, or we're trying to work on better improving that integration. But that's been kind of one of the challenges we faced, is that we came from a very different background. So our perspective was very different. And like you said, insurance, you don't realize, you think you get 2 quotes and that's all that your options are. We also had one kind of mindset as far as how to approach getting agents bought in. And we're realizing it's maybe not the same approach you take with lenders and title companies.
Well, if I can expand that too, I think with when it comes to lenders and title companies, the agent, is kind of forced to transmit the information on every single transaction. In insurance, and Mark and I were agents and then brokers and everything, so we think of it the same way they do. We transmit information when we're forced to as well, which is when there's a giant problem. So Ashley we learned that Ashley wound up getting all of the 200-year-old homes and, homes that are 6 feet below, the floodplain and all that stuff. So that, everything else that's easy kind of, so there's always room for growth in there. But I think the product speaks for itself, and that's kind of spread. And there's people that have, that actually, when Ashley came on board, I said, hey, this is good. These guys they're picky. They're going to be a challenge. They know their stuff. And they were the first people that actually got bought in. And actually they are the most bought in at this point. And also one of our top producers, it's made an impact with our top producers. So.
And that's exactly what, I've experienced across, now we're in 9 states, but as people grow into other states, and a lot of people are looking for those ancillaries. And you mentioned before, we're looking, Mark, for a plug-in. We're not insurance people, right? We're in real estate, we're running a business. We're not insurance people. We have no intention of, becoming and quoting those type of things. We brought in an expert like Ashley that can handle that. And really, again, it made us sad as we lost the headquarters. I always say you still are one of our best employees, but that's okay.
Well, sorry, but not sorry.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you that one of the biggest benefits I see out there on from a real estate, and again, I was in real estate myself, was the fact that it's not something you think of first, right? You don't think of insurance first. You think of it as kind of a necessary evil. It's something I have to do. I have to get it, and you want the best price possible. Well, the good news is you brought in someone who is an expert at shopping that, and also has the access, with over 150 carriers in Florida, the ability to really find the right product for your actual client, not just what she has, as you mentioned. So that part has been fantastic. Ashley, in your words, what would you say as you're talking to folks out there, as you talk to clients, or you talk to, different agents from, all over the place, not just in one office? What do you tell them, why use you versus somebody else? If this is your moment, what would you tell them?
My moment. All right. Drum roll. Really, I'm super prompt. I want to help people. I want to educate them. I want to get them the best possible fit for themselves, because there's no one size fits all. So I have the market access, and I have the education behind me, and I also am super fast to respond. So that's what I look for in customer service and a product. I want somebody to help me now, and give me the best possible product for the best price.
So Ashley, you said a couple things earlier on too. It's not just you. There's an entire support team that's behind you, that's not at your office, but out of the headquarters office that actually handles all the support, all the accounting. They take support calls as needed. Everything that comes in. If for God forbid a hurricane were to hit one side of the state, that's pretty much everything is still functioning like you were there day one, nothing happened. That part is great. The other thing I noticed is the prompt aspect of it. That's really what differentiates. Not only do we have a super fast system that allows you to be as efficient as possible, but I've done some studies on this, and I've called a few people around, and what I hear is on average, if you talk to different mortgage brokers or real estate agents, it takes days to get a response to a quote. It's almost like you've forgotten you put in the request. It takes so long. That blew me away. In today's day and age, folks say I can just pump in something online and get an answer, and that's true. It's just 100% of the time it's going to be wrong. So
yeah.
it needs someone to talk it through no matter what happens. And so we don't believe that's ever going to go away. If you want your home quote to be correct, you got to talk to someone, give them the information, and let them actually work for you. And as a consultant, I bet that's probably the most, I wouldn't say challenging, but the best aspect of being with reinsurers is having all those carriers, but the ability to make that happen quickly too.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
So can you speak to, I know you've gone through the training and you were the back end. Was it exactly what you expected when you came over from a producer to behind the scenes? You've seen every aspect of reinsurer, both training and service. Can you speak to the training and service side just a little bit?
Absolutely. So I wouldn't have jumped into this if I didn't believe and stand behind the promise that we gives me, which is that I have a full service team behind me. Like I said, accounting, agency services, just everything there. I have a full team behind me, and I believe in it. And I know that if I can't handle anything, they're behind me. So I definitely think it's what I expected.
Perfect. Well, that's great. So I would say, we've covered a lot of the topics here. Anything you want to reach out to anybody, anything you'd say, and from Mark and Peter as well. I know you were thinking about it prior to. Are you happy with what you got? I guess that's the easiest question. Are you happy with, what we bring to the table and what you have in place right now?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, actually, if I was going to say anything to any, another maybe broker owner or somebody who owns some kind of other ancillary that's thinking about getting into this, that when we went through this, it has exceeded our expectations of what it was. I would say that having that full package, like Mark said, that gets you, we didn't have to go hire a big staff of back office people. We didn't have to go recreate the entire system. And when you're in a business where people are expecting, they're expecting excellent service from us across the board, we don't want to step in and try to create something from the ground up. We had a system in place that's working fantastic. A lot of the pieces are in place. Then I would also say it's very important to get yourself a great producer like we did with Ashley here, a great partner for this, because it's like we started a company that's been here forever and right from day one. So if somebody came to Ashley on day one, which they did, and they came to her with, I think one of the first ones you had here, speaking of 200 homes, was a 1915 home, right at sea level, all the problems you could possibly have. And it wasn't like we were trying to figure out how to handle that. We knew how to handle that. And Mark and I didn't have to learn how to handle that, which would, have taken a while too. I mean, we're pretty quick, but not quick enough to make that agent happy. So it made a great impression. And I think that's really important. If anyone's looking at this and thinking about this, you want to have the top-notch service and everything day one, or you're going to lose them. You're going to blow up your whole everything you hope to get, you blow it up, and it's delivered. So that's my plug.
Well, thank you guys. Anything else, Mark? Are you good?
No, I think you guys covered it all. We were kind of at an unfair advantage because Ashley's awesome and she already knew everything about the back offices, and because she had experience in other insurance companies, she knew exactly what products offered and used a lot of language we didn't understand, and she dumbed it down for us, and we knew that she knew exactly what we wanted, and what we wanted was the ability to primarily focus on sales, getting the policies, not anything else related to that. And so, you know, I know that Ashley's happy with everything that We Insure provides, so therefore I'm happy because she knows exactly what we need, and we have it, and it makes it real as a partner or as owners. What I like is We Insure provides a very simple report that Ashley passes along to us that we understand, that says exactly, you know, this is what came in, this is what came out, here's what you got. That's easy. So
that's half the battle. And again, that's one of the things that impressed me on the early stages was the fact that, you know, it is so turnkey, and the support is handled somewhere else. That, you know, when you hire somebody like Ashley, all you're really doing is growing the business, right? And in this case, you know, obviously you guys partnered up, but as you spend every moment, you're not worrying about taking calls for support. You're taking calls just to help agents, you know, mortgage brokers, clients, whatever it might be, grow, get the right products and services, and move on to the next, so you can actually grow your business. And you don't leave them. They're not hanging out there and not supported. You have an entire team behind you to take care of all that. So that's the part I think is really beneficial. And you guys have executed this to perfection. So I appreciate the relationship, and obviously I appreciate you joining me this morning. Ashley, we always appreciate talking with you. The last thing I want to mention to you is you're semi-famous out there because of all your social media. So we want to plug that out there. Make sure you keep doing that because you have a lot of fans, and it brings a lot of attention, obviously, to the office. But you know, a lot of the material you put out there is very educational too, so people learn quite a bit. So keep that up for sure.
All right, sound good.
Thank you all for joining this morning. I appreciate your time, and again, keep up the great work.
All right, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Stay safe.